reason why standing is such a great range to pass from is because, especially when Car's playing a seated guard position, I have access to his ankles. Right? He will be using his hands obviously to defend, but maybe I go high with my hands, Car goes low, and then I'm getting him flat on his back, if that makes sense. I have access to Car's ankles. When Car has to get access to my ankles, because what's his strategy? He wants my ankles too. If he's got control of my ankles, he can take me down. So he'll want to be butt scooping in and possibly getting shin to shin. From here now he can elevate me and put my hands on the mat and move me into different guards, single legged X and all that jazz. So he wants to be after my ankles too. Yeah? So we're going to use 3 layers of our body to manage that distance. I want his ankles, he wants my ankles. That's the game. So if Car butt scoops in, I can move back. I have mobility. Okay? I have a lot more mobility standing than I do on my knees. I can still walk on my knees, but I'm much quicker when I'm on my feet. So that's our first thing. Now we did talk about way early in this mesocycle when we wanted to pick up his ankles. We never really wanted to come bent over because now Car can make grips. Okay, that's not necessarily true. I'll only come in bent over if I don't have top hand position. We talked about last time, I want my hands on top of Car's. So if I come in to pick up his ankles and Car goes for his grip, I just keep my hands on top of his. If I'm dominating the top hand position, I can stay bent over because I can stop him. My hands are between what he wants to grab. Does that make sense? So now this allows me to use my head. So from this position, 1, Car butt scoops in, I can move back with my legs. Okay? His goal is to get his shin beside my shin and hug my leg, take a back step. From there, if he tries to butt scoop in and grab my shin, my hands are on top hand position. I'm not hanging around here. My foot comes in, I just put it down and go back into split squat. Okay? Let's talk about using our head. When I'm bent over like this, I'm safe as long as I have top hand position. If Carl is top hand position, I'm posturing. Does that make sense? Because if he is top hand position, he'll immediately find out, yes, and pull me into all sorts of trouble. So we need to be aware of when I have top hand position, I have like a buffer, but I also can use my head. Watch. As Carl tries to move in, I just keep my head in front of his head to head the whole time. He can't occupy that space and get past this distance. It's just like our last move. I used my head from this position to control distance. I'm using the same concept from standing, if that makes sense. But we need to be aware, we can only do this if I have top hand position. For instance, I don't want to be bent over. Car is top hand position and I start to use my head. Whatever he is. If he's top hand position on top of me and I bend over to use my head, I'm getting tapped. So the drill is part 1, he butt scoops in, I can use distance. Second thing is he butt scoops in, I want my hands on top of his. And as he tries to close the distance, my head is in front of his. Of course I'm not going to be hanging around here, moving back, my hands on top of his, and using my head. All 3 of those concepts just bide me time to do what? To get us back on the mat and get in the split squat position. So we're using these 3. This is where it's just about now, coming near the end of this mesocycle, we're just chaining together, putting everything to getting ourselves in the safety position so we can hit the pass. So from here, as Car tries to move in, I want top hand position, my head's here, but when the moment's right, you just put him down. And now I'm in the split squat and I can start working the passes that we've been playing. Again, you'll see a lot of YouTube, a lot of top fighters fighting. It's all this hand fighting and you wonder what is all this stuff that's going on. They're fighting for top hand position. And again, when you're hand fighting is most likely you're distracted, you're trying to get your hands on top, that's the perfect time to start initiating your pass and getting the safety positions. So the game is, I want to get the Car's ankles, he wants to get to my ankles. I can use three things. As he butt scoops in, I can use distance. He wants his hands on top of mine. I want mine on top of his. As he gets closer, I can use my head position. But if his hands come on top of mine, I'm backing off again. Does that make sense? Back in again. Once I'm here and he butt scoops in, I'm immediately finding the ankles, creating the space, moving in, and then we can start to work our passes. Okay? So,